to the New Podcast, episode number 83. My name is Steven. I am joined by producer and co-host extraordinaire, my man, Kelly. Let's get to it. What a weekend we had of MMA. Great fights went down in Las Vegas last night in the Apex Arena. Tons of fight news to get to this week as well, Kelly. Tons of shit going down in the world of MMA, the world of combat sports, and in the world of pro wrestling. Played a ton of video games this weekend, as always. Looking at a bunch of new releases, kind of getting a small little chunk of new release of video games. And just doing shit in the new world order here. I think stuff's getting back to normal, though. I think we're starting to see. I think everyone's just getting tired of it.
Yeah, gas prices are going up. So
yeah, exactly.
It definitely is a sign things are going back to normal.
I just love that. It's like, oh, gas went up 30 cents. Why? Because
people are driving now. That's why.
Well, what happened to all this? You had so much gas that you had to drop the price, but it's like, what happened to all that gas? People just didn't buy it up all overnight. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Don't worry about it.
You already bought the cheap gas.
Exactly. Now this is the expensive stuff. We're not trying to make up for lost money here, but just buy gas. Oh, you have to? You have no other option? Oh, okay. Bastards. In America, what's wrong with you down there? America's got some problems. Man, shit is hitting the fan down there.
Yeah.
It's tragic story, but I think it's obviously, I don't really want to get into a whole political thing. Like I said, it's a tragic story. Someone died unnecessarily. Mm-hmm. But I think what the shitty thing that's happening right now is like what we had with the Vancouver riots, when the Vancouver Canucks lost the Boston Bruins in Game 7 here, is that the people who actually cared about the situation are the peaceful ones, and the people who are using this cloak, basically, of a protest to, cause havoc, really anarchy, and just, destroy businesses, which have nothing to do with the situation, are the people who are getting the biggest spotlight and the most headlines, of course, Like I said, it's just like what happened in Vancouver. A group of people came up here to cause trouble, and I think it's where we're seeing these total pieces of shit are coming out of the woodworks and just really causing trouble down there. And I feel for all our fans down there that are having to deal with this, and it's really getting out of hand, though. It's getting fucking crazy. The videos we're seeing some of them are getting pretty goddamn gruesome, if you tell you the truth. Like that dude pulling that bow on that crowd in Utah. Whew. What a moron. Because he got swarmed and he got fucking absolutely shit kicked. And deservedly so. You're going to pull a bow and arrow on a crowd of people?
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm just not trying to get political
yeah.
either, but, with all these peaceful protests, like the football players taking a knee, that they all got shit for that. Even back when Kobe was wearing that "I Can't Breathe" shirt because of that other man that got choked out and killed. It's been going on for a long time. I'm starting to think that people are just fed up, and it's at that breaking point where if people keep dying, this is what's gonna happen. So it puts more of a, I think it's gonna help put more of in a cop's head. Like if I do something stupid, the whole city might burn.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying it's right. I would not want that for anybody. People, those businesses aren't just rich people's businesses. It's like mom and pop shops that are getting burnt down. And it's really sad what's going on.
It is really sad, yep.
So, like you were saying, those assholes that go into those shops and loot everything. And, some of those people don't have insurance because they can't afford it.
And that's, especially with being shut down with coronavirus and shit like that, too. These people have been through enough hardships as it is. And what happened was tragic. It was absolutely tragic what had happened. And the police should be, those dudes should go to jail forever.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah.
But for you to go out and say, I'm going to go kick in this store and steal some stuff, and there we go. That's how I'm going to solve this problem. I'm not connecting the two.
Yeah.
That's all. I didn't want to get into a huge thing, but I just wanted to say, obviously, if the
you're
hearts
mad,
go out
that
to
doesn't
Americans.
mean you should burn someone's vehicle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they need that to get to work. Like,
yeah, exactly. It's not helping the situation, of course. No, absolutely. But other than that, I had a good weekend, just low key. I was just chilling out at home, playing video games. That was really about it. I didn't go crazy Orna bike riding. Went to Arby's yesterday though. Went to Arby's. Fucking delicious, Kelly. Arby's never gets better. And just really low key. Slept in, ate, and played video games. How about you, Kelly? What'd you get up to this weekend, man?
Mostly just video games.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Not much else. Video games.
It rained here. Just so you guys are up to date with the weather in the lower mainland. It rained here all weekend, so we stayed inside.
Yeah, there's not much to do.
It pissed yesterday. Holy moly, did it ever rain a ton.
I have a home gym, so that's nice. But,
nice.
So I use that, but other than that, yeah, it's raining a lot.
Yeah, it was nonstop yesterday, man. It was absolutely nonstop. Talk some news. Get to reviewing the reviews. Talk a ton of video games, and we'll have our breakdown of UFC last night, man. Great card went down, and I really enjoyed it from top to bottom. That was a great card. But let's get to some MMA news. A huge announcement this week for Kamaru Usman, and it's a fucking head shaker here. Usman now calling out Conor McGregor. Calling out Conor McGregor. Are you fucking serious?
Who hasn't Usman called out?
I know. Well, he hasn't called out Jorge Masvidal. You know what I mean? That's one dude he hasn't called out. This is bullshit. He's not calling out these, all this time he's like, no, you know what I mean? There's no way I'm fighting Conor McGregor. Now he wants money. He's like, yeah, I'll fight Conor McGregor. Yeah, that's the only guy I want to fight. That's the only guy I want to fight is Conor McGregor. And it's just the stupidest thing. You can't beg for a money fight. The money fights come to you, and then you say, no, I want more. No one's approaching Usman saying, we'll give you Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is like heavy at 170. I'd have a hard time seeing him really cut that much weight to get to 170.
No, that, but Dana said he wouldn't let Conor fight Masvidal because he was too big.
Yeah.
Like George was too big for him,
yeah.
So Usman's not?
Yeah, Usman's huge. Usman probably walks around at 190 at least.
At least, yeah.
At least he probably walks around at 190. And you're going to say, oh, yeah, I'll take this guy who fought at 145. Yeah, I'll kick his ass. Dumbest fucking mover. Like I said, it just came off to me as cheap when I read the headline, and I couldn't believe he was serious. I honestly thought it was just some made-up rumor. Nah, he's got a whole video where he's like, yeah, my next fight's going to be Conor McGregor. Said nobody ever. I couldn't believe this, man. I really couldn't believe this. You're going to, out of all these people, you're going to pick Conor McGregor, let him leapfrog the whole division, and come up and fight you when no one had that fight on anyone's radar. Obviously, Conor was called him out a long time ago, and now he wants to fight. I'm kind of disgusted by this. Dana White has already come out and said 100% no.
Yeah.
There's no way this fight is going to go down. What a size mismatch. That's the dumbest, easiest. I just thought it was a kind of a bitch move by Usman. Let's be honest here. You're not gonna call it Jorge Masvidal. There's a ton of dudes at 170 you can call out. Tons of guys. Robbie Lawler, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's on the later list of 170.
Or even call out Khabib.
Yeah, call out Khabib.
Not?
Somebody a little close.
Fight. Yeah.
Somebody a little closer in your weight class.
That is also a good wrestler.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like.
Absolutely mind-boggling, man. That he would go to that length and just say, you know what I mean, out of the blue,
Yeah.
and just say that. You know, I'm just confused by it. Obviously, it's obviously number one, Kelly. It's money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's money, but still, it doesn't make zero sense. You know, no one wants to see Colby Covington again. You know what I mean? That's the other dude kind of in the 170. 170's got one fucking hell of a long log jam, especially with the events that took place last night. It's got one crazy ass log jam going on here. Like I said, I don't want to see Colby Covington again. No one wants to see that. I think Jorge Masvidal makes tons and tons of sense. You know, for him to say, come out and say, oh yeah, you know what I mean? I was hoping with that Jorge Masvidal would have a response, and but to come out and now say, oh, why is Jorge being quiet? It's not about that. The guy's busy. You know what I mean? And he thought what the rest of the world thought this was, and it was a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Let's break down welterweight division right now. Top 10 here for the UFC. So yeah, you got Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington, Jorge, Leon Edwards. There's another guy too, or Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I wouldn't really want to see Wonderboy fight Usman. I think that'd be a real bad matchup for Stephen Thompson. But Leon Edwards, I think, matches up well. There's another dude who could easily go in there. You know what I mean? And it's just one of those things where you have all these other dudes, and Conor McGregor's not even on the fucking list. I was just totally shocked by it. But even more shocking out of all this, with Usman calling out Conor McGregor apparently accepts a fight with Anderson Silva via Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck wants to see that? Another guy, you know what I mean? Like I said, he barely makes 170. And now you're going to have a 185-pounder who's well into the 200-pound range want to fight him? I don't want to see that matchup.
I can't even see that happening. No. Like I said before, if George is too big, then Anderson Silva surely is way bigger. Way bigger. The size, the reach. Yeah. It would be so boring of a fight. And definitely at that, when you're having that much of a mismatch in weight, it turns into a fucking sparring match. You know what I mean? And who, you know what I mean? I just don't understand this one. With Anderson Silva saying one fighter he would like to fight would be Conor McGregor. I don't think he meant it in an official capacity. You guys could train and spar and do that thing. But to have an actual UFC bout where, on a pay-per-view, obviously, where people tune in, they would obviously want to be the headlining, the main event. And, I just don't think Anderson Silva garners that kind of stardom anymore. He just, he's had a really rough career as of the last few years. Really, when was he involved in a good win recently? And it's been a super long time. Yeah. No, he's definitely legends only fights. And Conor McGregor, he's still kind of in his prime years.
Yep. Yeah, so he's still active.
Yeah, so it doesn't make sense in that aspect either.
None at all.
I just don't understand the match. Let's have this heavier guy that used to 10 years ago be champion of 185-pound middleweight division fight a current UFC ranked fighter in a lower division. Doesn't make any sense.
0 sense. You might as well fight Hoist Gracie or something, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good point, man. If you're gonna bring it that far back, why not grab the 170-pound guy?
Ken Shamrock, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just makes 0 sense. I was so confused by that matchup, and then everyone ran with it because all these Conor McGregor fanboys just ran with it. Oh, this is going to be the next big thing. Said nobody. No one wants to see this fight. No. Any actual MMA fan or combat sports fan does not want to see this. This sounds, like I said, it sounds like it's going to be like a fucking sparring match.
And what does it prove? If Anderson Silva wins and he's way bigger than Conor, what does that prove? If Conor wins and he's still in his prime, beating way... out of his prime Anderson Silva, what does that prove?
Yeah, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Guarantee it's going to decision. The worst part about it is, it's one other thing, just like the Usman fight. Why is this happening? Money. Everyone wants that Conor McGregor money, you know what I mean? And the guy's made it himself. He made it himself and, had astronomical paychecks, unheard of in the MMA world. Yeah. And it's just really, really shitty that all these people do have to call out a guy like Conor McGregor just to get paid and just to be able to say, hey, I've made a good chunk now. Now I can let my foot off the gas pedal a little bit.
That way they don't have to tear up after fighting, after they win and say, I have to go back to work on Monday. Fucking pathetic. UFC needs to give a little bit more money to these guys. And
it goes, the biggest thing is obviously the Reebok deal. People used to make tons of money in MMA. But you come to the UFC and it's like, here's $3,500 for sponsorships.
Yeah, because the UFC wanted a sponsorship too.
Yeah, exactly. So that doesn't cover anything for these fighters. It may cover their food for a few months. If even that.
I wonder what kind of money UFC's making off of Reebok. Must be pretty good.
Tons. I wonder what it's a good call though, Kelly. I don't ever see people, in Reebok gear out there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like you went with one of the out of the big three that Adidas, Nike, Reebok is definitely on the lower end of that list of apparel.
They're around Puma.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, you see people, the odd person Reebok shoes, but you don't see people, really sporting Reebok clothing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's obviously what they wanted. But I don't think I've honestly ever seen somebody in a Reebok MMA fighter shirt. But remember when it was Tap Out and Affliction and all those clothes? You see people everywhere with them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Everywhere, because they were cool and they were original and they were different.
Nice
and,
designs.
Yeah, nice designs, and everyone had their own shirt.
I got some Reebok shoes because they were given to me.
There you go. But that's what I'm saying. Even, people do buy Reebok shoes.
Yeah.
But they don't buy anything else from Reebok.
So you just wear them because they're given to me.
Exactly.
No, they're nice shoes.
Reebok will only wear you if you're given to us.
That's what the UFC does for their
pretty much.
Yep.
Here's
their clothes.
Here's
wear them.
That's going to be taken off your tab. That's all part of the sponsorship.
No, they're nice clothes though. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Still though, I haven't seen anybody wearing it, but it's just, they got to get rid of it. There is a report that the Reebok deal is coming to a close, and
that's good.
Hopefully UFC will not renew that deal.
Same with USADA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a rumor that's coming up soon as well. That's they got to get rid of both of those, and the sport will be really, really good again. It's
two of the biggest blunders in the UFC history.
The huge ones and it didn't affect the fans. It affected the fighters the most.
And it was only because they wanted to sell the UFC.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They're like, okay, we gotta make it legitimate. Let's get USADA in here.
Yep.
We gotta get everyone dressing the same so it looks like a unified sport like soccer or hockey. Bullshit, right? It wasn't the same. People used to come out in like uniforms and like with whole like dance moves and shit, like kind of like Adesanya, Israel.
Yeah.
Israel does. But even more so, like even like Mayhem Miller used to come out like in a mask and everything, and like the whole luchador thing, I guess.
Yeah.
And but the UFC shut that down and said no more. Everyone's just going proper. It's going to be a proper sport.
Like, I think that even Cowboy got in trouble for wearing a cowboy hat.
Yeah, super fucking ridiculous.
I know. It's an individual sport.
Yeah, it's a fight sport.
It's an individual sport. I think that was always the best part about it is everyone's gear, their shorts, was always flashy. Their shirts were always flashy. And like you said, Kelly, the entrances, they added to the entrance. Now everyone's got the same shit. It just looks terrible. We've talked about it time and time again. It looks fucking terrible.
I thought it was cool when people like come in with those shorts that had like those gladiator things off.
Yeah,
them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Melvin Manhoef.
Mm-hmm. That shit was awesome.
I did like that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and just the design. It's not just the fact that everyone's shorts are the same, or I think there's probably like 5 different shorts you can choose from.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But still, when it was their own, anyone can bring whatever the hell they wanted. There was millions of options.
Yeah,
millions
and you
of
could
options.
fight what you're comfortable in instead of what they want you to fight in.
Naked.
Just a G-string.
One day. Oh shit. Moving right along though. But come on, UFC. No one's got time for that. I don't even think Dana wanted any part of Conor versus Anderson Silva. No one wants to see that. And I think the only person who wants to see that is Anderson Silva because he wants to see the paycheck.
Yep. That's probably it.
Moving right along in the 135-pound division, we will have a belt title fight for that belt. Jose Aldo will be taking on Peter Yan for the belt at a to-be-determined date and time and place. I think I can only imagine it's going to be Fight Island, or this one could be at the Apex Center, which we saw this weekend. I love this matchup, though. I think it makes sense for right now. I don't know, Marlon Moraes, he had his chance against Cejudo. Great 135-pound fighter. I think he's an amazing 135-pound fighter. But I think, for him versus Peter Yan, maybe be a bit too soon for Moraes, and maybe, something Moraes maybe he just doesn't want to fight right now. And here, Aldo steps in, who was obviously with his last match, he was supposed to be going to be fighting for the title belt, and the Peter Yan versus Moraes was supposed to kind of be the eliminator on the other side, with Aldo was supposed to be fighting Henry Cejudo, and now we see Aldo versus Peter Yan for the belt. And I'm not in disagreement with this fight at all. I think it's the best 135-pounders on the planet right now. Peter Yan just beating up everybody and looking good doing it. And he's looking to put another notch in his belt, another legend in his belt with Jose Scarface Aldo. How do you see that one going down, Kelly?
I actually think Aldo's going to take it.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Aldo on this one. I think his experience and I think, this is his last run at the belt and he's going to take it serious. You know what I mean? Like, he's had a belt before, he's lost it. And I think, he thinks this is going to be his last shot. So he's taking it seriously. I think he's going to squeak it out.
Nice. I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Peter Yan, I've counted him out many, many times before, but I don't think he's come up against somebody like Aldo. And just how good Aldo did look against Moraes. Even though that was a very close, very, very close call. I don't know if Pedro Munoz if Peter Yan has come up against a dude like this with his striking. He's come up mostly against these wrestlers. Peter Yan's fought a ton of wrestlers and beat the shit out of them. And now here's a bona fide striker to go toe-to-toe with him. And only time will tell. I'm really excited to see how that one turns out. I'm tipping my hat to Aldo as well, as is Kelly. And I can't wait to see when that one goes down. Definitely going to be a headliner, if not a co-headliner of some other championship bout, obviously it would have to be. And as we start seeing more and more shit open up, only time will tell where that goes down. Maybe Florida even too. Florida seems to be a lot of these people are traveling to Florida. With the NBA even saying Orlando will be a hub city, I can only imagine we will see another hub city with NHL or other sports. These cities are going to fill up with these athletes because it's the only place where people can go. But any way you slice it, we will have one hell of an event go down when the likes of Peter Yan and Jose Aldo clash in the cage. Also sticking to the 135-pound division, Frankie, the Answer Edgar, will finally make his debut at bantamweight against Pedro Munoz, July 11th, going down. And I'm glad to see this fight finally go down for Frankie Edgar. He's got a tough test ahead of him, though. They really didn't give him an easy matchup here. But I didn't know. I've seen Pedro Munoz fight a little bit, but let's break him down a little bit here. I don't know a whole hell of a lot about this dude. Born in 86, from Brazil. He's the young Punisher, fighting out of Torrance, California. He's one of the smaller dudes, but he's got a pretty darn good record. 18-4, not bad at 135 at all. Not bad at all, with one no contest, only 4 decisions, and he's got 9 decisions. 9 decisions, shit. Yeah. But most of his losses, all of his losses are by decision. So that's pretty tough. You only lost by decision here. Yeah. Let's break him down. Oh, he lost to Aljamain Sterling. Was his last fight. That's where I think that's where I remember seeing. Oh, and Cody Garbrandt. He KO'd Cody Garbrandt too. That's what it was. Too. Huge win over Cody Garbrandt, but then to lose this decision to Aljamain Sterling. He had the TKO over Brian Caraway with kicks to the body. Brett Johns he beat. He lost to John Dodson by split decision too. He's got a win over Rob Font, Damian Stasiak, even Justin Scogins too. Justin Scogins very, very tough, and he actually finished him. Russell Doney lost to Jimmy Rivera by split decision too. So even all of his losses have been by decision, and having 2 of them by split decisions too. That's pretty tough. And his other decision loss was to Rafael Sunsao. Came out of the RFA organization too, and then got a shot at UFC. He's actually got a really good UFC record. Not bad at all. Who was his no contest to? Gerard Sanders. How the heck was that one going down? He tested positive for testosterone. That was in the Halifax card.
Probably boner pills.
Rogaine. It's really not a whole heck of a lot to this dude. Just not a whole heck of other information other than that. Let's see what other championships he's got here. He's got 3 fight of the night bonuses, and he was the bantamweight champion for RFA. Interesting. Pedro, the young Punisher Munoz. Younger guy. Obviously, Frankie Edgar's got his hands full, and they didn't give him an easy test. He's number 7th in the bantamweight rankings right now too. So that's a real tough dude. Getting a top 10 dude for Frankie Edgar, man, that's gonna be a real tough showing for him. And I'm glad that Frankie Edgar, his whole career has been tough as nails, And the last thing he wants to do is take the easy way out and get an easy fight for his debut at 135.
How old's Frankie now?
Yeah, he's got to be up there too. He's definitely got to be. Let's pull up Frankie Edgar. He's definitely got to be pulling into his 40s. Let's pull it up here. He is 38.
Yeah.
Still,
that's around the same age as Tyron Woodley.
Yeah, absolutely. And Frankie Edgar's been involved in a lot more fights, a lot more wars than Tyron Woodley. 32 fights, Kelly.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
All
That's
in the UFC too.
Yeah, all basically. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. You know what I mean? His record. He was good wrestler too. But where was his first fight? He was fighting some kind of he fought some decent dudes before coming to UFC. UFC 67, 2007 was when he made his debut.
So you're fighting what was it, the Bully Maynard or something?
Yeah, his trilogy, I think, with Gray Maynard. You know what I mean? That definitely caused some brain damage. You know what I mean? And then beating he fought Gray Maynard 3 times, fought BJ Penn 3 times as well, getting the best of him every time. Even having Benson Henderson he fought twice, Jose Aldo as well. Cub Swanson, Chad Mendes, that big KO over Chad Mendes was, I think, one of my more memorable fights.
Just everybody.
Yeah, everybody. He's fought Jose Aldo twice. The big loss to, obviously, Brian Ortega. He's kind of been on the downhill slide, obviously, getting really KO'd by Chen Sung Jung. The decision against Max Holloway, he kind of got beat up in the later rounds, but Max Holloway is huge compared to him. I think he's actually fought Cub Swanson twice, too, so there's a lot of dudes he's had to fight. I guess he actually win over Charles Oliveira, too, big win. Oliveira, how hot he is right now. Win over Uriah Faber. I remember that one wasn't a very exciting fight. It was really back and forth. 2 legends really going at it. But man, he has never had an easy go. He's been fighting the top 5 dudes his whole career. Is Frankie the answer, Edgar? Moving right along. I didn't really want to talk about John Jones this week, Kelly, but goddamn, does this guy always find a way to have to come in the headlines here? And I kind of felt like I had to talk about him. I kind of felt like I was cornered and I had to talk about him. It just because he's just really losing it. I don't know if it's the brain damage or what's going on with him. Coming out, in that tirade, wanting to fight Francis Ngannou like we talked about last week. And now, Dana White saying, no, that's not going to happen. We're not there money-wise. Saying John Jones was asking for a lot. How much was he asking for? No one really knew until Dana White came out later on and had said he was asking for Deontay Wilder money. So John Jones coming out saying he wants to make boxing money in MMA against Francis Ngannou in order for him to go up to heavyweight. And John Jones' response was visceral, man. He was pissed.
Yeah.
He was obviously pissed. Did Dana White, was calling Dana White a liar, and now Dana White coming out saying, no, John Jones is a liar. Who's telling the truth here? For someone to come out and ask for $30 million is just ridiculous. And for John Jones, when his Twitter response was kind of had some telling moments that he did ask for a lot of money. I think he did, he's basically saying, for me to go up in a weight class, I deserve more money.
Yeah.
And I'm the best pound for pound fighter in the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
I deserve this money. But I didn't ask for that much money. I asked for, he said he asked for half of half, and then, he expected not to get even half of half of half.
I think he blames the UFC a little bit for all his, positive tests and missed fight opportunities and stuff like that as well, and he's angry about it.
Typical John Jones blaming other people for his problems. And I think that's kind of what it felt like too, Kelly, when you read all of his shit, and then lastly, just saying, then release me.
Yeah.
John Jones, I know you're the best. He's the best fighter at 205 and potentially could go up to heavyweight and be the best fighter at heavyweight, too. I'm not doubting any of that.
But could you imagine how much money he would get for fighting Mike Tyson in bare knuckle boxing?
Yeah. It's not a terrible idea. Not a terrible idea, man.
Looking at that shit, it's like, man, that's just striking.
People need to get paid in the UFC.
Yeah.
But, but John Jones just kind of going out crazy on this one. Asking for his release. If you read the tweets, he's just going nuts. Just absolutely going nuts with it. And And I can't blame Dana White here for, when has ever Dana White or the UFC handed out checks to anybody that wasn't named Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
Never. Never have they done that. And why the hell would they change now? UFC saying, that they're going to be losing a lot of money with the pandemic, obviously just for gate money. But they still are projected to have a profit this year. But, obviously without any gates, that's obviously, I think, what they want to wait for, is they want to wait for that. I think John Jones, if he were to go up, he's kind of, the Ngannou fight makes sense to me. But I think he's got a lot of unfinished business at 205. With, obviously, one last fight, obviously, with the division really, he killed everyone and killed the new crop, too. Beat them all up, with the exception, obviously, of Dominic Reyes. I think they have to obviously have that Dominic Reyes rematch. And then he can go up. But the
Reyes match was too close. And some people are thinking, everybody expects John Jones to do so good, that's why Reyes looks so good. No, I rewatched that fight. It was a close fight, especially like the first round. Reyes was like teeing off for a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, it was a good fight.
Very, very close fight. You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of people aren't, not giving enough credit, or credit is due in that one. But my God, John Jones going off the deep end. And I think obviously what his biggest problem is his past bullshit. You know what I mean? How the hell are they going to put that much... That's what I said last week. How the hell are they going to put that much money into a fight? And how the hell are you going to put, that much promotion into a fight where you're going to put... Sure, okay, here's $30 million. But what happens if you run somebody over? You know what I mean? What happens if you get pulled over a bunch of drugs in your car? You know what I mean? What happens if you test positive again? Yeah. Those are all very viable things that could happen. Yeah. That could all very easily happen tomorrow. You know what I mean? So why the hell would UFC go out on a limb saying, yeah, we'll give you all this and tie up all this money and do all this shit just for you to fuck off and make a huge another mistake, time and time again, what you've done. That was kind of my take on it. Why UFC just saying, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. held up the division long enough.
Yeah, exactly.
At one point, they moved on without John Jones Bones.
They really did.
So that was the whole thing. It's like, yeah, we can get by without you.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Where, anything, his value has kind of gone down recently, even though he's too good of a champ.
Yeah.
His value has kind of gone down with that. Moving right along. Mike Tyson, man, is there a more talked about guy right now, Kelly, in combat sports, in news really, is Iron Mike Tyson. And the biggest news coming out is who's almost potentially 100% could be his opponent if he decides to go to bare knuckle fighting championship, would be Vanderlei, the axe murderer Silva. Vanderlei being offered $10 million for this fight. $10 million.
He's been knocked out for less.
Yeah, exactly. Way less. And that's obviously he said he signed the contract right away saying, yes, I will fight Mike Tyson for $10 million. Who wouldn't? I'd fight Mike Tyson for $10 million. Anybody would fight Mike Tyson for $10 million.
How much do you think he got for getting knocked out by Rampage? Like $1 million? Not even?
I don't think so, man.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't even think 500,000. It was probably even maybe 180,000. I think would be max.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, it'd be a good fight.
They weren't really UFC wasn't throwing around tons and tons of money at that time. I could maybe see, he probably had some kind of deal going on. You know what I mean? Merchandise. You know what I mean? Deal, that type of thing. How do these guys even? Go back to the Reebok thing. How do these guys even sell merchandise?
I don't know, man.
They can't.
It's crazy. But $10 million in Brazil, you could tire off that for sure.
Easily. Very, very easily. You know what I mean? And what's crazy about this whole thing is that Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, even going back to the table with Mike Tyson saying, we will give you more. We are willing to give you more than the initial $20 million. We want to make this fight happen. And I just think if they just keep driving truck after truck of money up to Mike Tyson's front door, he will have to say yes eventually.
What are the pay-per-views like on these bare knuckle?
I don't know. Exactly. They can't be that good.
Are they laundering money?
Who knows?
What's going on?
I know. I don't know anybody else really other than ourselves who tunes into bare knuckle fighting.
Yeah.
Is it really that big?
It's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we talked about a few weeks ago. It was like, where is this money coming from them?
Like, I don't know anybody who said, "Hey, I bought the bare knuckle boxing pay-per-view."
Never met another soul. Most people are like, "What is that?"
Yeah. It's like, yeah, we made $200,000 last year, and we gave Mike Tyson $100 million.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on a second. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. The next event will be going down June 26th. No location announced and no fights have been announced for this. Could we see Tyson? He's been hitting the pads quite regularly. Does he know something that we don't know? Has he been already signed that contract? And is that why he's training so much and posting all these videos of him hitting the bags?
I think he's gonna fight. I think he's just weighing his options right now.
Yeah,
getting the biggest bid.
Of course. And maybe he's leveraging a little bit, leveraging the UFC. Not the UFC. Maybe he is leveraging boxing a little bit on this. You know what I mean? And basically saying, hey, this. Upstart, backwater swamp organization is going to give me, 20 million plus. What do you want to do for me, boxing? All the shit was the rumor was the Holyfield fight, where I didn't hear any of the Holyfield stuff at all. Is he going to fight Holyfield? Is he going to fight another boxer? Or is he, now, Vanderlei Silva has all of a sudden become this front runner where he's come out and straight up said, yeah, I've been offered the fight and I signed on the dotted line. Absolutely. Only time will tell. Will he fight in June? I think we could see it. Just like I said, with all of his training been going down, you'd think they want to maybe market it a little bit more. So maybe do we see a July fight, something like that for bare knuckle fighting? Who knows? The one thing that is sure is his next opponent has been announced outside of the ring, and it'll be the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, Chris Jericho. Crazy event went down Wednesday on AEW Dynamite, Kelly, where it was the after the Double or Nothing, which went down last weekend as well, which was great. Double or Nothing was an awesome event, really cool event going down. And the Inner Circle, which is Chris Jericho's crew, having their pep rally, and asking him, Jericho, what does Chris Jericho want? And he says, I want Mike Tyson's head on a platter. Kelly is what he says he wants. And here's he's just talking how Mike Tyson had sucker punched him 11 years ago, back in his WWE days, and how he wanted to have his head on a platter and wanted his chance at him. All of a sudden, someone's music hits, and here comes Mike Tyson with an entourage. There was one dude there. I had no clue who he was. I think he was like a gym owner of some kind of gym. I think it was probably like American Top Team or something like that in Florida, because that's where AEW now is, in Jacksonville, because of the Khans, who apparently Tony Khan is very close friends with Mike Tyson. So that's why all this shit is kind of going down right now, and especially in Florida. So now they do all their events in a big stadium, like the outside of a stadium, Kelly, like a huge football stadium. And here comes Mike Tyson with none other than Henry Cejudo. Triple C coming down with Mike Tyson. Former champ Rashad Evans, and the guy who Mike Tyson had been training with just days prior in Vitor Belfort. So he's coming down with these MMA guys, and they're all squaring up with the Inner Circle guys. And like I said, there was just one dude, I don't know who the hell he was. He even had like his eyes painted kind of like a raccoon a little bit too, so it was really weird. He was like some overweight, out of shape white dude. But he was weird because like this guy's like not letting Henry Cejudo stand in the front. He's standing in front. He doesn't look like he belongs there. He's like wearing glasses too. He doesn't look like he belongs there at all. He must be somebody of Mike Tyson's, and they get into it, and Mike Tyson's getting in Chris Jericho's face, and Chris Jericho eventually pushes it. Mike Tyson pushes Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho pushes Mike Tyson, and again do a huge brawl. So it was actually a really cool little move, and they even had like a pretty polarizing moment with Mike Tyson, being pulled away by everyone, and then trying to fight to get back down the concourse as well. So you got this moment of all these dudes holding Mike Tyson back, and him really flexing hard. It was
the biggest fight that really happened though was Mike Tyson trying to rip off his T-shirt.
Yeah. That was a high quality shirt. The thread count on that shirt must have been through the roof.
I just don't think he knew how.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah,
it's like, it's not ripping enough over here.
Maybe a little. And then to go for the shoulder, which had to be probably one of the strongest parts, and that's where he really tore the shoulder out.
Yeah,
and
I think he should have practiced first.
Yeah, he should have practiced. Maybe he did that little, did the Hulk Hogan cut in the middle just to start the seam if he was going to go with it. Yeah, huge moment for AEW. You know, who is hotter right now than Mike Tyson right now, Kelly, in the news right now for combat sports? No one. Huge. He's huge. And then here AEW throws some money at him, say, hey, you know, if you want to do some wrestling stuff, you know, obviously it's a cheap move and it's been done through time and time again, through the Attitude Era. Obviously when Mike Tyson had that real crazy run with Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels, you know, back in the 90s. Everyone's trying to recreate that, but I thought it was a bit of its own take, and I thought it actually worked out. Obviously, with the MMA fighters backing him up, you know, Henry Cejudo saying he wants to come to pro wrestling. Huge move for him to make his appearance. He didn't look too small. And Rashad and Vitor.
That's how you describe his wrestling
Rashad
career.
And Vitor.
He didn't look too small.
He didn't look too small.
That's the best. I really thought he was gonna.
But AEW has smaller wrestlers, so you know maybe it's a better fit for him. Crazy move, but I was totally shocked.
Maybe he can be like thrown at other wrestlers.
Yeah, there you go, Kelly. Uses the weapon. Henry, the weapon, Cejudo. The battering ram.
I like it. Henry, the weapon, Cejudo.
I liked it though. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't checked it out, it was all over everywhere. Everywhere was running with this, man. All the sports channels were showing this, and that's what was a huge move by AEW too. To have a very successful pay-per-view the Sunday before, and then to have this huge night on Wednesday. They really stole the market. Obviously not a lot of shit on TV. Every sports outlet out there was talking about it, Kelly. It was huge. And they hit it right out of the park for AEW. Huge move for them. And I'm really enjoying AEW. I'm not saying they're better than WWE. I'm not trying to say this or trying to say that. I like them both. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I like them both. I love WWE, and I really enjoy AEW. I'm really enjoying them. And they're putting on some good moves. Are they using some older tactics? Sure, why the fuck not? Wrestling does that. Wrestling always does that. Everyone does it. And I couldn't have been more thrilled as a combat sports fan and as a wrestling fan. Well, that about wraps up the news. Tons of shit to talk about this week. I had to cut shit out to talk about this week, Kelly. So much crap to talk about. But I can't wait to see Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship going down soon enough. Well, then, let's carry on here. Back by popular demand, reviewing the reviews. Let's kind of think we kind of went to the well one too many times at strip clubs. It didn't, it started not becoming all that funny. Just same old shit, the same old shit. So let's go on outside, picking something outside that we haven't really done before. And I think it's a funny place to do. Everyone's got them. Dollaramas, Dollar Tree, dollar stores. You know what I mean? A good old-fashioned dollar store. You go in there, the chocolate bar's a little smaller. Kelly, the pops are a little bit smaller too. The batteries aren't as good. They're like used batteries. The dollar store, you get what you pay for. You pay $1.
I bought batteries from the dollar store before, put them in my smoke detector, and they were like too low power, and they started beeping right away.
That's hilarious. I could totally believe it.
And it's already beeping. It's like chirping right away.
Countless stories about how you get what you pay for at the dollar store. Light bulbs. Dude, you get light bulbs, and then it'll last you like 5 days. How can you make a light bulb worse? Dollar store found a way. But this one here is it's a Dollar Tree. 183 reviews, and it actually has pretty good reviews. 4.1 star out of 183 reviews. That's pretty high. Lots of 5 stars. That's what's kind of crazy about this. Just all these pictures people always take of this shit. I'm always amazed by the need for people to take pictures. Like, how bored are you? How bored are you? But all the love for this dollar store, it's insane. The first one here, there you go. Just Max is this the guy's name? 11 reviews, 5 stars, 3 months ago. OMFG. I've been going here since I was like forever ago. Yo, Jordan, what's up, neighbor? With the emoji of a wave.
Oh,
these guys run a really good dollar store, and they legit have pretty much anything you could possibly expect from a dollar store.
That's a great shout out from you, buddy.
What a shout out, eh?
Yeah.
This guy was hyped about the dollar store. Just to start it off with OMFG. Like he's that excited about a dollar store.
It's like a trip to Disneyland.
Pretty much. But all the pictures, this person here, just like, 4 stars, nice store, many options. That's it. But they have like 6 photos, all of the cards section. Like the birthday cards and shit like that.
Check out their card section. It's unbelievable.
What is wrong with you? And they're blurry, and they're at like a weird angle. It's like, what the hell is wrong? The only thing I can say that this person did a good job of gave them 4 stars. There's, to give me a 5-star place, that's tough, man. That's the cream of the crop. 4 stars, I respect. Because, let's be honest, it's a dollar store. It's not going to get 5 stars.
Yeah, this is normal.
Even this person, DC, 7 reviews, 3 stars, 4 months ago. They did not accept my Visa card, and it was very frustrating. 3 stars, though. Still gave them above average for not accepting their payment. Very, very weird. This person here has 10 photos. 10 photos of a dollar store.
I hope they got the pet supplies.
Jeez Louise. Here's another one, just says good location. I think,
Good location.
I think it could be fake reviews because the other one said nice store, many option. This one just says good location, 3 stars, and the photos are from the same angle. You can't fool me. I'm a review fucking veteran here. But this person had 9 photos, Kelly. I know. This is great. SS 43 reviews, 8 photos. Didn't take any of this dollar store, though. 4 stars a year ago. I like this place because it had the things I have been looking forward in other stores but could not find it there. And the best part is the price, which is uniform. Loved it. I like this place because they had the things I have been looking forward, or maybe they autocorrect them for to in other stores but could not find it there. Hot tamales. That's a mouthful.
Well, that's because they have everything you could possibly look for in a dollar store.
One person has a very racist review. I'm not going to read that one. No way in hell. There's enough going on right now. Here we go. 5-star newbie review. HH. They managed to put a photo up, Kelly. They've got their photo up, but only 1 review a year ago, too. So they did this like, I gotta create a Google account just so I can do a review of this Dollar Tree. I can't sleep at night unless I do that. You know what I mean? I just love this one. 5 stars a year ago. My experience here was wonderful. The tall gentleman's name who helped me was Jordan, and he was so helpful and polite. Definitely will be returning due to the friendly service. Fake review.
By Jordan's mom.
Someone buying pinwheels and gum and posting pictures of their purchases. I love that. There was another. Here we go. AN 19 reviews, 3 stars, 2 years ago. Had everything we needed for birthday decorations and helium balloons. Great prices. I wish customer service was more respectful of the store property, inside and out. Oh, sorry. I wish customers were more respectful. So here we have a person giving them only 3 stars because of the customers inside and outside the property. We've all been to a dollar store. They attract, obviously, a seedier element of people. These are low-income people. Maybe they have drug dependencies or whatnot.
Wow. I go to a dollar store, man.
I do, too. That's what I'm saying. It obviously attracts other people as well.
Kind of like Walmart.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like Walmart has, the worst of the worst, and, dollar store is a different one altogether. Saying someone was mad because the teenage cashier sounded bored and indifferent.
Yeah, she would be. She's supposed to show up stoked about your job at the dollar store every day.
I'll read this one. Convenient location and a nice selection of products. However, employees sound like they would be anywhere but there. Duh.
Yeah. No shit.
One young teen, when question marks in parentheses, weird, always sounds bored and indifferent. And is it the location or is it policy to hire young university-age kids who don't care?
Maybe they're not giving out $25 an hour.
I don't think I've ever, you know what I mean? Where is this person going and buying stuff, Kelly? There were people who are like super cheery at these minimum wage retail jobs.
Especially teens.
Yeah, teens. Where have you been?
Oh man, everyone, they're like, it's funny because some people like, people aren't supposed to work these jobs when they're older. These are for like kids, but then when kids are being kids, it's like, how come they can't hire more professional older people?
I know. I want a professional working at my Dollar Tree.
Pay them a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly. I want somebody making $30 an hour working this cashier register. And everything wouldn't be $1, you dumbass. This one's a good one here, too. This guy's just telling like it is. GSB, 88 reviews, 4 stars, 1 year ago. And he starts it off with like, this is weird as hell, man. It's like 5 E's and an H. So with 2 exclamation points. So I think that'd be like, E! Or A! I don't know. It's okay. Like, you can't expect Hugo Boss for just $1, LOL. What the fuck did you expect?
It's okay.
It's $1. I want to do my clothes shopping at a dollar store. You know what I mean? Whoever does that.
That's where I buy my clothes from. Just kidding.
No, exactly.
Dollar store pants and shoes.
You can't make clothes for $1. I'm gonna round it off here. Yeah, we're sitting good on time here. Round it off here with this one. KP, 2 reviews, 1 star, 3 years ago. This is by far the worst dollar store I have ever seen.
But they have everything.
But the store is a mess. Their products may be cheap, but the way they treat their employees is completely unacceptable. And even customers, they can be very rude too. I would suggest not shopping here. Weird. So
So the management treats the employees and the customers poorly. But
I think he's saying the customers can be very rude. I'm kind of confused. Yeah, I think maybe you're right, Kelly. I think he's saying that they treat the employees and customers poorly. I was kind of reading that the other people in the store were rude.
Yeah, maybe they're all rude.
Everyone is just rude.
Asshole.
Everyone just a total asshole there.
The kids are uninterested in working there. The customers are rude about it.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, how about this? How about you go to the dollar store, you grab your shit, you buy it, and you go home, and you don't give a fuck if he smiles or not.
Exactly.
How about that?
And you don't push your own uneducated, you know what I mean, level of service on a place where you obviously have to, like I said, these people obviously have to know these people are making next to nothing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know what I mean? And for them to want to go to work every day, and it's got to wear on you. You know, going in to deal with these people that come in constantly, you know what I mean, that are not going to be nice to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, the customers are treating these people like shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You think the guy's going to be fucking chippy and cheery every goddamn fucking time he sees you?
Yeah. His job is to fucking, ring your shit through and then cash you out.
Yeah. Idiots.
That's their job.
I'm defending the store here. Not bad, though. Dollar store, not bad. I liked it, man. It was actually pretty darn good.
I go to the dollar store to brighten my day, and if they don't have a smile on their face, I'm angry.
Exactly. If I don't get top-notch service like I'd get from the keg, I'm walking out.
I'm taking my $3.50 and going elsewhere.
Exactly. I do enjoy going to the dollar store. You know, best thing about dollar store is go there, get your chips and pop and shit. They always kind of got like a good sale going on some kind of brand of pop, or you can get like the full thing, chocolate bar, shit like that. If you're going there with the munchies, you're hitting the right place when you go to the dollar store. Great service. Let's go for a little break here. We'll be right back after these brief messages. Corona Extra. Imported and brewed in Mexico by Cerveceria Modelo. Not to be mistaken with any type of virus causing a havoc out there. Corona! It's okay.
World of Warcraft Classic. It's not a substitution for your life. This brought to you by the And New Podcast.
And if you're out there with one hell of a time of video games, putting in the hours, be sure to hydrate with plenty of water. Some good quality H2O will get you back out there killing warthogs or shooting enemies. Brought to you by the Water Company. Welcome back, folks. Hope you enjoyed our commercials and go grab yourself a cold, tall glass of water in the house. Tap water, that is. Let's talk some video games. I didn't play a ton of Orna this weekend. Obviously, this week as well, I had some good Orna time in though. Just doing my thing. The one crazy announcement, Kelly, is the dude who owns everywhere around here. I had a feeling of it knew where his like home area was. I kind of knew the city of his home area, yeah. And now I have pinpointed this son of a bitch's house. Pinpointed exactly where he lives. It's funny because I kind of knew where the area was, and sure enough, you can kind of tell. So I took over this huge amount of area, and boom, sure enough, he takes one spot back, and it was instantly right afterwards. So I can tell, that's obviously his house. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of funny to have that part over his head. Had my son. It was pretty funny because we went to Arby's yesterday and had my son play while I drove, and took over a whole whack load of spots. Took over about 120 spots from just in one go. He's already back at it. I know he doesn't like it when I take all those spots, so he's back at it already today. He has only taken about 60 of them back so far. So I still got a bunch of spots out there just from yesterday that I took from him. So he's only taken about half of them back. He steamrolled me this week though. He really did. He got back to. Apparently he was on vacation when I was on vacation too, because last week I was riding my bike around everywhere playing. I probably took about 400 spots total. With everything, the weekends, both double weekends and playing throughout the week. And he steamrolled me one day. He took about 220 spots one day. Because the guy just drove around all day, just driving around, taking them all back. But like I said, that was my strategy. If I take over enough spots, he just can't do them all at once. So I'm still sitting at a good spot, much higher, still about 250 spots higher than I was before. And I've dropped a little bit in the rankings, down to one. I'm higher than last week, but I was actually 148 yesterday. Today I'm only 152. Like I said, I haven't really ground that hard. Still playing, still loving it, and playing. It's one of those things I think where the deity class is kind of shitty. I think that's the main thing right now. It just they really kind of made it stupid with the unstable omnimancy. It's kind of really killing me because I have an ability, Kelly, where no matter what attack hits me, I can either be weak to it, resistant to it, or straight up immune to it. So since I'm rolling the dice, but I could be weak to 3 attacks in a row. You know what I mean? Which has happened before in the past, which is just the dumbest ability. Yeah. You know what I mean? To be weak to something when I'm this huge god class is just really, really annoying. The other abilities, obviously, really make up for the deity, but I'm thinking of going to Heretic. I did buy the class. I just need better gear, because that's the nicest thing about the deity is I can wear all types of gear, Kelly. It doesn't matter what class they are, thief, warrior, or mage. I can wear all types of gear all across the board. Obviously, I moved down to Heretic. I can only use mage gear, so I'm kind of just waiting until I get some better mage gear, and then I'll probably switch over just because they have stable omnimancy too, which they can have just a chance to be immune to attack straight up. So rather than having a negative ability, and I've fought them before, you're immune a lot. It's like up there. You're like, it's at least 40% of the time. So when someone attacks you, you can just straight up be immune to it, and it does 0 damage to you. So which is pretty nice, and they're a bit higher on the magic as well. So I may switch down. I don't know. They don't have The Last Stand, which I really like. But just it was really funny to find the dude's place. I've saved it. I know exactly kind of where it is logistically too. So to have your house taken over sucks. That's the worst feeling ever, to have your house taken over, the actual place where you live. So it was really cool to really pinpoint that spot and have a bit of an upper hand on him. If I really want to piss the dude off, I just go right through his neighborhood and just take every fucking little spot. And that definitely get that's kind of a move to get underneath anyone's skin. Even worse yet, rename his house, something like that. You know what I mean? But still enjoying it. Raiding like crazy, just the raid bosses. And I did one of the summoning scrolls, so now you get these summoning scrolls now, Kelly, where you find a random raid boss. You can get the raid bosses. Now these raid bosses will show up in the world, but only at walking speed. So I don't know how low that speed would be. Is that 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers below? What is it? Because I have not seen these raid bosses riding around my bike. So I'm obviously on a bicycle. It's still too fast for it. But these summoning scrolls will just bring one of the raid bosses to you. So I did one at work. Me and my buddy played it, fought it, and it was actually a tier 10 1-2. Gear was very underwhelming. The gear was super shitty, but it was cool. A nice little cool aspect. It was a good chunk of experience. It was a cool little aspect of the game that I really do enjoy. I have a few more summoning scrolls that I'm going to use later on, and I'm halfway to 29. So 230 will unlock a bunch of new spells for me, and still not slowing down on the game. Witcher. Didn't play as much as I liked. I played a bunch on the weekend though, and kind of just rounded out all the quests and side missions I had to do in Novigrad and in Velen, and now I am at the new place, Skellengra. So it's really cool. It's like kind of like a Norwegian kind of island fjordy type area, Viking style is what it kind of is, Kelly, and it's really cool. So I've got there, because that's the last, Ciri's got to be here. She's got to be here. Her known whereabouts has got to be here somewhere. Yennefer, that's where she went right off the bat. And so now I'm met up with her, and so I'm doing this mission. The king is dead. Long live the king. So I get there, and the king has just died, and they're doing like a Viking burial for him. Where they put him on a boat and shoot flaming arrows in the boat, and he dies, and like they burn his body. And so now it's all for the new king. So I show up right off the bat, and we got to go to this ball. I got to go with Yennefer, and so I meet all like the sons and the cousins of this king, and everyone's vying to be the next king. That's what this whole thing is, a huge feast but who's gonna be the next king? So I have to have a race with these one people, but the whole mission is kind of actually to sneak into this druid's base, and from Yennefer, because she wants to investigate this area where this huge magical anomaly had like scorched this massive area of forest, and you think Ciri had something to do with it, with her teleportation, but this druid won't let her go see it. They won't let Yennefer on site. So this whole thing was all Yennefer's idea, to sneak into this druid's his laboratory and to try to get some insight on maybe what he knows. So you sneak into the dude's place, and you get this mask, and then boom, you have to fight this huge elemental dude, which was really, really cool. And it's kind of what I wanted to talk about this week on the game. I've been trying to get to it forever, but man, I've always had so much to talk about when it comes to Witcher, was just really the beasts. The beasts in The Witcher, it's just the coolest part about it, Kelly. But these elementals, I fought this. So I fought an earth elemental, and I have also fought a fire elemental and an ice elemental I fought. But the earth elemental I fought in a random place out in the wild, and he had a really cool move. So they're very slow, and they cover up and block themselves. They're just what you'd think, like a massive rock golem, and all these different ones have different abilities, obviously basing on what elemental they are. But the earth one was super cool because I'm fighting him and I'm kicking his ass, doing a really good job because they're really slow. So I can easily dodge their attacks, and I'm beating the shit out of him. But he does this slam move where all of a sudden, boom, this huge wall of stone circles us around, and now I can't get out. I have to now battle this dude, which I was already beating him up really easily anyways. But it was just I thought, like, what a cool little ability for one of these bosses I'd never seen, where this dude encases me, creates this little fighting pit that I can't leave now, and I have to fight him to get out of it. So I thought that was a really cool little ability for these elementals. But the one thing was just, the beasts, the cursed ones, and one thing I really want to fight is a vampire. I've had a few little stories where I'm coming up to vampires, but I haven't fought one yet. But the things I'm fighting a lot more of was the draconoids, like they're different dragons, fork tails, cockatrices, basilisks. But this really cool one I came across it was really cool achievement too, Kelly, was I had destroyed all the monster nests in Velen and Novigrad. So everywhere you come across, you'll find these different monster nests of different types, and you throw a bomb into them, and they blow up. It was a huge achievement too on Xbox, and it gave me a ton of Xbox points, whatever the hell you call them. And but when I did this last Wyvern, this Royal Wyvern came out. So there was these two monster nests that I had to destroy, and they were both these Wyverns. And so I throw the bombs in it, and all of a sudden this Royal Wyvern comes out, and I have to battle his ass. And he actually had a huge hit point bar. He actually took a lot. He wasn't too bad for me, but he took a lot of damage. But it was just really cool, and it was also in this mission. So I stumbled across this mission just by accident and saved these people. And there was a cave underneath there, and went to the cave, and there was some other cool diagrams and shit in there that I would never have found without just stumbling across this mission as well. So I thought that was really cool. All the different like dragons you fight are really interesting. Hybrids are cool. You fight a lot of griffins, harpies, and shit like that. I'm fighting sirens now, which are almost like these dragon people, sirens. So you fight them as well. Succubus I actually fought in the city as well, which was kind of interesting too. Kind of magic-y style. The insects you fought, I fought a lot of them, but it looks like they added a bunch more to the expansions more than anything. I haven't really found any interesting ones, that's for sure. What else was on this list as well? Oh, relics. Yeah, relics are one, like they're like ancient kind of magic bad guys, and these like chorts and fiends. They're like very, very similar, and they're very, very tough. Some of them they're like gigantic like lion beasts with they have like antlers and shit like that. So all the specters are interesting too. Like they have like a night wraith, a noon wraith, you know what I mean? Which are very similar, obviously, but they're all a little bit different on their own. But like I said, the vampires is really one I want to fight. I haven't fought any. There's only 3 vampires in the normal game. There's, I guess, obviously the Blood and Wine expansion is much more vampires. But I really want to fight a vampire and see how tough they are. Really loving the game, but really getting into it with that new mission and the new area. I just kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel now with the game, and I'm just kind of ready to finish it and get on to the next game. I did really enjoy it, but I don't want to half finish it. You know what I'm saying, Kelly? I don't want to leave the game at a high point to where it is right now and say, I'm done with it. I didn't see what happened in the end. You know what I mean? So I am actually kind of interested to see what happens with Ciri, and now I'm so deep into the game. But I am finding myself rushing a little bit, like I said, just because I want to get to the next game. The next game is Wastelander 3. I really want to play it. It was you could pre-download it free on Xbox Game Pass, which I love. I'm going to extend my time. My Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is expiring soon. If you're out there, Xbox people listening, I know you are. Shoot me some free time. I love your service, and I've been playing the hell out of it. Especially my kids love the hell out of it, too. It's just great to be able to have this nice little library. You don't have a lot of heavy hitters, but they do release a lot of fun games. They're just, downloadable. Pick it up here, pick it up there. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, if you're out there and you're on the fence about downloading it and getting it, it's honestly worth it. I've got my money out of it, for sure. I've got my money out of it. It's, for the price of what it is, I've played tons of games on it, tons of them. And The Witcher 3 is just one of those games, but Wastelander 3 is the next game I'm going to move into afterwards. May 28th was when it officially became available. I already had it pre-downloaded, and I'm really excited to say it. But like I said, I'm going to grind through Witcher and get to the end of that, and then I will move to Wastelander 3. Excited to play that one. It's like if you didn't play the second one, which was the second one was kind of the big one, it's made by Black Isle, the original makers of the Fallout series. So it's a very Fallout-style game with turn-based and action points and shit like that, and different guns and stuff, so armor style. So I'm really excited to see how it is. Wastelander 2 was okay, but it was a bit... it had its bugs. It was a bit buggy, so I'm excited to see with Wastelander 3. I think they actually put some money behind this one, so I think it's going to be fun. The game I really did play a good chunk with my kids, though, last night, Minecraft Dungeons, also released, Kelly, just this week. I think it came out on the 27th. But man, is it ever fun? You know what I mean? Just because it's a couch co-op, 4-player couch co-op. So me, my son, and my daughter, we were all playing, having a lot of fun. It's you know what I mean? It's kind of like a rogue style, dungeon style game with the, you know what I mean, having the bits and pieces, having the meat and the potatoes as Minecraft. You know, you have the Minecraft enemies, the, you know, the creepers, the zombies, and shit like that. Obviously with the Minecraft graphics as well. But the gear you get, so you get different gear, I think is what it is. So it's a bit like WoW meets Baldur's Gate, meets all based in the Minecraft world, is basically what this game is, and it's a lot of fun. So you get different weapons, whether it be your your main weapon, your armor, and then your bow and arrow. So you have a projectile weapon as well. Arrows are expendable, so you don't have just an unlimited amount of arrows. So, and you always are finding different weapons, but you also upgrade your weapons rather than getting a level up that would upgrade your personal skills. You get runes that you put into these weapons. You get, the only downside is you're kind of going through a lot of weapons. You're always finding new weapons all the time, so you're kind of using these runes, but you can actually dismantle your weapons and get those runes back. So that's a nice take too. So when you are done with a weapon, you can reuse the runes to put in, and the runes are different. So there'd be different abilities depending on if it's a weapon or armor. Like you get like 10% extra defense, or 10% extra attack if it's on a weapon or something like that. So now I'm just simplifying it. It's much more complex and different stuff, cool stuff that you get added. It's really fun. Obviously, if the more people you play with, the more mobs you see. So they made it difficult that way, and it was a lot of fun. The other thing you get is relics. So you get these relics with you, Kelly, and it's kind of like you're in WoW. It's your special abilities. It's your special abilities. So it's kind of a nice touch that these special abilities are interchangeable. You can make your person a tank or a DPS like attacker, whether it be bow or arrow or with weapons, and you can also be kind of like a mage style as well. So it's kind of nice how they did that with the game. It is interesting with that. So they did make it so you can focus on getting a certain type of gear that you want, but you can always obviously roll with the punches and just use certain types of gear with whatever you get to have a loadout to work with that. So it is it's actually it looks simple, but it's actually a in-depth game. But at the end of it, the gameplay is actually very fun, Kelly. It's actually a very, very fun game. The hacking and slashing, the way they have this level set up with certain bosses and certain little extra things you have to do, like hit these nodes or get a key to get through the next door, stuff like that. And the difficulty kind of does go up on a sharp incline, so I think they want the game to be replayable. They want the levels to be replayable. So, you go back to a level and you may find even more better gear, and initially to get the level up because you level up your number, and then you obviously get the higher level, the better gear you get, obviously. And the different things you get for your relics is quite cool too, because you collect souls, and some relics are based off your soul collection, and then they'd be different than that. Like some, you'll shoot a beam, and however souls you've collected that beam will be stronger, or vice versa. You'll have a healing one where you collect souls through dudes you kill, and then it could be a stronger healing thing. So the game's actually quite fun, and I thought the couch co-op aspect was the funnest part about it, was playing with your friends. You could do it obviously locally or online. So the game is very in depth. They put some time into it, and I think it's a fun little game, especially for the younger generation, for kids or other people probably who are into the Minecraft genre. I wasn't really into it that much, but I actually do enjoy playing this game. And I recommend anybody out there, if you're out there and you're on the fence about Xbox Game Pass, download it. It's very fun. It's pony up the dough, because it definitely is worth it. If there's a game on there you think you'd like for $16, hey, do it, because the games are rather than paying $80, $90 for a game, get the Xbox Game Pass for a month. You can, then play 30 days of it, which is, for most people, that's enough for a game, really, and then you have other library of games to choose from as well. And if you are going to get it, download Minecraft Dungeons. Very fun game, and Wastelander 3. Well, that's about it for video games for me, Kelly. How was Apex this week? What'd you get into, man?
Oh, yeah, played a lot of Apex. Not too many stories to tell. Have I talked about or read Revenant's little write-up? I don't think I read it.
I don't think we have, yeah.
So I'm just going to read Revenant's little Revenant, I think you're right, yeah. Revenant's little write-up. It says, "I've seen the other side, skin bag. There's nothing, you are nothing." That's his little quote.
Hilarious.
So he's a synthetic nightmare. Revenant used to be human. He used to be the greatest human mercenary syndicate has ever had. He used to look in the mirror and see his human face looking back, but times change everything. When his programming finally failed, he saw what he had become at the hands of the mercenary syndicate and humanoid robotics, a walking nightmare of steel, flesh, vestilo flesh, I don't know. His master resurrected him as a simulation, I don't know, snitching.
Apex uses a lot of these big made-up words of their own.
Yeah, man. Snatching him from his death and embrace, and again, programming him to forget. So basically, they had like this big theatric thing when he came out, and he basically just walks into like this building and kills a whole bunch of people, just assassinating him and like assassinating all their security and everything.
Crazy.
So he's like this super assassin. His real name's unknown. His age is unknown. His home world is Solus. Quite a few people from Solus. I think Watson is also from there. His tactical ability is silence. So yeah, like I talked about before in previous shows, he can throw this grenade, and it basically makes it so your ultimate abilities and your passive abilities get shut down. Plus, it damages. It does a little bit of damage as well. It costs a little bit of damage. So, it's a really good like a tactical ability.
Yep.
Probably one of the best. His passive ability is Stalker. Stalker basically just makes it so you can crouch walk faster, which is
really?
okay if you're like sniping from like behind a hill or something. I'm not sure, like
kind of a weird one though.
I'm not
kind of
sure
a weird one. Out of all the things you'd really want, crouch walk fast. I can do without that.
Yeah, exactly. And then his ultimate ability is a death totem. Basically, the death totem is a drop totem that protects those who use it from death for a set amount of time.
Wow.
Instead of being killed or downed, users return to the totem. So he puts it up. I don't know how good it is because the thing is, like, you can use it to your advantage, but most people don't. Like, when you die after using a death totem, you don't get to use your shield once you use it. You're only using your life. Once you die, you get sent back, and you got a little bit of life.
And you never get to have a shield again?
But no, you still get your shield.
Yeah.
So basically, you go in there, and you're only using your life, and then you get sent back if you die. And then
I
you
see
have
what
to
you're saying.
your
right.
life. So if they're, like, charging you, and you die and then you get sent back to the totem, you gotta hope that you replenish your life before they get to you. If you could use your shield and your life, it'd be better to me, just because basically you just go back to the totem and you wouldn't have any life or shield afterwards, but at least you could regenerate. But when you attack and you only have your life, a lot of times, like, it's an unfair advantage. Like, they will have, like, at least a white shield, and you're going in there with no shield. So you gotta hope you have the better gun. I mean,
weird,
Yeah, I guess they didn't want to overpower it or anything, and I don't know, but like a lot of times, like it can be used for like in a good, positive way, but a lot of times it just it goes unutilized. The death totem.
Really? Wow, that's shitty. Can your other teammates have the benefit of it? So if you die and your other teammates die, they go back to the death totem.
Well, they would all have to click on the death totem and like hold X and then become like these Night Walker guys.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah.
So they can all attack at once and maybe take out the other team. Maybe if they die, they get sent back to their totem and they can replenish. But if they just start throwing grenades or if they rush you too fast, you're gonna be there like trying to hold like a shield cell. Trying to hold it, and then the guy's gonna be shooting you in the face, and you're not gonna even get a time to replenish or whatever. Yeah,
I see. It has like it has such a bad negative that people are like, oh, why the fuck am I gonna do this at all? Do many people pick him at all?
There's quite a few people that will pick him. Yeah, it's give or take. Like some people, like I said, they can use it effectively. I just don't see it happen very often.
Yeah.
One time I have seen it used effectively is when somebody like laid down a barrage of what are those, like those grenades or whatever, the ones that fall from the sky. I don't know. Somebody's ability. I think
Gibraltar's attack.
Yeah. Yes. So if Gibraltar lays down his thing and then everybody uses the totem and then runs out and attacks at the same time, it doesn't matter if you die because everyone's going to die. You just get sent back to the totem. Hopefully you can keep those guys away from like the outsides of it so they actually get hit. So you can use it effectively in some situations. It's just a lot of people will not.
Can totems be destroyed?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But you can camp them too. So if
they're
camping your totem,
shit.
So that's happened too, where people camped it and killed you as soon as you
reappear.
Oh
man, shitty.
So you gotta put it in like a hiding spot. Yeah. So I played a few games, quite a few. I made it up to gold again. I got quite a few teams again, just like. You'll get attacked and dropped, and then only one person will come to help you. As the other guy's still looting, even though he has a gun. And then that guy will get dropped, and then the third guy will find all the loot he wants, and then finally start going towards it. But at that point, just 3 people from the other team looting 2 boxes, and then they get dropped, and it happens way too often.
Oh my god!
People just don't like to play
Some
that
things
game
never change.
Yeah. So once in a while you get a good team. I have played Warzone as well. I actually won a game.
Nice, there you go. Nice.
So, but there's not really anything new to talk about Warzone. It's just, it is what it is.
Do you get like any kind of achievement or something like that for like winning?
No, but at the end there's like a video and it just kind of like shows your character and their name.
Oh,
okay. It's like riding off in a helicopter with like credits falling down.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hilarious.
Yeah.
That's cool. Whatever. You got your win under your belt, man.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, hit us up on Twitter if you got any games you'd like us to play. Any games you think that we should review on. Starting to ramp up again. I think we're going to see that come this summer and obviously fall with the new consoles coming out. It's going to be one, and especially how popular video games are now with everyone having to be cooped up. I think it's going to be probably the biggest video game season of all time, obviously coming up this fall. And right now we're going to start seeing all the previews and shit like that, especially come midsummer.
Yeah,
all the leaks and all the information and all the promos and hype videos are going to be coming out aplenty. Whatever happened to Cyberpunk? When the hell is that game coming out now?
Yeah, it just keeps putting it on hold.
Well, at least they're doing it right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They're not going to release an unfinished game.
One of the games I won on Apex, I got 2 Prowlers, both with select fire and extended clips. And when you get that, at close range, it's like a lightsaber. It just cuts right through people.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, every time I'd knock one guy down, switch guns, knock the other guy down.
Oh, man, that's hilarious.
Yeah. It's pretty funny.
Nice. Getting it done, Kelly. Hit us up on Twitter if you want to play with Kelly, too, man. It's a big Apex following. Everyone in the Apex community is very tight.
Nice.
Let's talk some UFC. Boy, oh boy, did we ever have a card go down this weekend. UFC on ESPN 9. Woodley versus Burns. Great card. Watched it right from, I didn't see the pre. Where did I start off? Yeah, Brandon Royval versus Tim Elliott. And great card. Had its decisions, had a lot of finishes. Really enjoyed it. It was the cool thing I got to talk about is the smaller cage, since it was at the UFC Apex Center. Smaller cage. It was a 25-foot cage. Went from 30 foot is what they normally have. So, it encourages action.
I didn't notice.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I know, the same thing. And if they wouldn't have said anything, I would have never noticed either. But yeah, just a little bit smaller, and I think it's maybe something they can move forward with.
I don't know. It's not good social distancing. I think they should keep the 30.
Have 2 cages.
2 cages.
One for each guy.
They just shadow box and judges just determine who's the better.
Is he ever shadow boxing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe just bag work.
Wow, he's really hitting that bag. That guy would be getting the shit kicked out of him. He may be onto something. Social distancing fighting. But what was funny, Kelly, it was definitely the night of the terrible tattoos. Man, oh man, was there ever a whack load of shitty tattoos on this card, man. Tons. Jamal Hill, his tattoo, did you see it?
That about money?
No, that was a different guy. That's what I'm saying. That was totally. This guy had like the thumbs up, and it said like and it said like Mr. Polite or something. The handwriting was so like having your buddy in your garage doing it. Like any one of these dudes could whip my ass. But dude, you know what I mean? If you don't have the money to put down for a tattoo, you may want to save up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To get really attached. And then it had like 2 thumbs up at the side. Did you see that guy? It was terrible. It looked terrible. And like I said, the handwriting wasn't like any kind of cool cursive style. It was just messy. Like it was really messy. It was terrible. I think that was the Bout Money guy was No, it wasn't Daniel Rodriguez. He had a terrible tattoo too. Daniel Rodriguez. It said I can't even remember what the hell. Let's pull up his name here.
The only reason I remember the Bout Money is because after the fight, the guy was
because he was like, "I'm about that money."
Like, people talk about my tattoo about money because I'm about the money, so I got it tattooed. It's like, what? Okay,
I know.
So you need that,
but like all these guys had the same terrible tattoo, like right on the collarbones. You know what I mean? And this guy, Daniel Rodriguez, his is "hate it or love it," is what he had. Like, what does that even fucking mean? That sounds like that sounds has rapey undertones. You know what I mean? Doesn't it? It's a terrible tattoo.
Justin Gaethje's happy after his No Fear tattoo.
He's like, oh, thank God, this new era of fighters have terrible tattoos. Who was it had that? Roosevelt Roberts was the guy who had that one. He had the Bout Money. You know what I mean? But yeah, night of the terrible tattoos.
And then it's just like him trying to justify the tattoo.
Yeah, I know. Like, I gotta explain it to you. That's how cool this tattoo is. I gotta explain it to you. You know, that's the worst thing about a tattoo.
Because I'm about money.
And the same thing was right on the collarbones. All these guys had these terrible, to Jamal Hill, Daniel Rodriguez, and Roosevelt Roberts. All terrible tattoos. Like, come on, guys. Come on. Terrible. Love it, though. Love it. So we had the smaller cage. We had the night of the terrible tattoos, but we had a great card, man. It was really, really good. Brandon Royval had a really great fight against Tim Elliott. Tim Elliott just fucking manhandling him for the first round, taking him down at will, putting him in trouble the whole time, landing some shots against Royval. But Brandon Royval did not give up. I think he's an former LFA champion. Came out and just never, ever gave up. And then to get the arm triangle choke over an exhausted Tim Elliott in the second round. You could tell that Tim Elliott threw everything at him, threw the kitchen sink at him, and Royval comes out the winner. Let's break him down a little bit here. 6 degrees of separation. Brandon Raw Dog Royval. Could have one of the worst nicknames, Raw Dog. Yikes. Lost to Casey Kenny, weirdly enough. In LFA, but ended up beating up Jacoby Sanchez for the belt, and then Nate Williams, and then getting the call up to the UFC. This was the guy that cried because he had to go to work tomorrow. Like, how shitty is that? Guy's 11-4, former LFA champ, and the dude had to go to work on a fucking Sunday. You know, I felt that though, man. I really felt that. You know, fighting at 135. And but when he said that, man, I'm trying to get paid. I'm trying to change my life. I gotta go to work tomorrow. I felt that, man. I really did. I really felt that. And I hope he gets paid. Definitely could have been fight of the night. Definitely could have been, because just the beatdown he took and then came to come back. Really no other names really he's really fought over in LFA, but fought a ton in LFA, really. Good organization to really sink your teeth into. Yeah, other than that, really no real names he's fought. But a huge win in Tim Elliott. Huge win. Biggest win of his career over a very tough veteran in Tim Elliott. And that brings us to the first terrible tattoo of the night. Jamal Hill knocking out Klidson Abreu. Oof, he tagged him there in the first few minutes real quick. And then to come out after that and just really tag him again. That punch, hitting him with that right, and then to knock him loopy a little bit right in the face, and then to get him right behind the ear, and then to follow it up with a knee to the body. Whew, that knee to the body really put him down. I don't even think it was the headshots. I think that knee to the body was the reason why he couldn't continue anymore. And gets a quick win. Jamal Hill at 205. He's a big dude. That brings us to the second terrible tattoo of the night. Daniel Rodriguez getting a good victory over Gabriel Green. These guys, they kind of just stood and banged the whole match for 3 rounds, and it wasn't a terrible fight actually. 2 dudes really trading. Even Gabriel Green, getting the second round I thought, but Rodriguez had the third round for sure. But 2 dogs in a fight on that one. Those guys really went back and forth. And then unfortunately, I think we have the most one-sided beatdown of the night with Caitlin Chukagian beating the sister, getting redemption against the sister, and beating Antonia Shevchenko. Just one hell of a beatdown. Easily those 2 rounds were 10-8 rounds. Were just straight manhandling. How that first round, how Antonia, tough as nails, she didn't go out and she didn't give up from that choke. That choke was in there a few times. Oof. What a beatdown that was, though. Chukagian really showing that she is very tough. One hell of a tough grappler for anyone. And she was ranked, I think, number 2 at strawweight in the women's division, and obviously just losing to the other sister the fight before, then to get the win over there. To get with obviously Antonia is not the greatest fighter, nowhere near as good of a fighter as her sister Valentina, but tough nonetheless. And man, just could have had no answer for the ground game of Chukagian. Mackenzie Dern, speaking of grapplers, makes history with a beautiful knee bar. I thought it was more of an Achilles heel lock, where a knee bar is kind of more of a double-handed thing. Just because it's belly down, I think you go with more of an Achilles heel lock, where knee bar is really kind of on your back and pulling. Either way, however they want to announce it. Mackenzie Dern making history, being the first mother to get a win, first MMA fighter mother to get a win. A huge win for Mackenzie Dern, nonetheless. Even Hannah Seifers or Cipher, it seems like even that night they kept on pronouncing it differently. Severs, I think, is actually how you pronounce it. Only was 5'1", Kelly. That's pretty small.
Yeah.
That's pretty small for men or women's division. It's pretty short. But a huge win for Mackenzie Dern. To get back in the win column, I think get a bit of confidence, I think, is really what she needed. And then, man, oh man, did we ever see a beatdown Roosevelt Roberts? Just a huge beatdown Brock Weaver. Brock Weaver, I forgot to talk about Brock Weaver's tattoos. They are probably the worst. He's got the most, garage buddy with a tattoo gun tattoos I've ever seen in the UFC. But he just looks undersized. I think that's the problem. Fight at 170, he just doesn't look that big. He fights at 155. And he just seems like he's just undersized for 155, and Roosevelt Roberts is just massive. Brock Weaver is 6 foot, and Roosevelt Roberts, is only 6'1", and the size mismatch definitely looked a lot larger than that. But getting the rear naked choke just beat the fucking shit out of him. Really, let's call a spade a spade. Brock Weaver just got the crap kicked out of him. Really never really had. He just looked, like I said, he looked undersized. He looked at the reach disadvantage was huge, and Roberts really talking some smack and just really put it to Weaver, landing a bunch of nice body knees, and just was just a complete game. And then really to bust him up, and then to get the choke at the end was quite beautiful. No choice but to tap. And I think I don't know if some people are saying it's controversial. Some people are saying it's not. Billy Quarantillo, the most accurate name for right now, to have quarantine in your name and to be fighting Spike Carlisle. I had that win for Spike, and man, did he ever come out! I thought it was going to be a good fight. Spike coming out, just with that jumping drop kick and really just beating the shit out of him. But Billy Quarantillo, that's what he had done in his last fight. Same exact thing. Weathered the storm, never went out, and came back to win in the third round. How did you have that one, Kelly?
Yeah, it was pretty even. I had no idea who
won
when I went to.
Well, I thought Spike at least had this. He had the first 100%.
Yeah.
The second was a bit more. But I thought he did enough. I thought he did more in the second. Obviously, the third was all Billy Quarantillo. Could you maybe did the refs give him a 10-8? Because Spike was exhausted. He was absolutely exhausted come the third round. But Quarantillo getting the win, I was actually quite surprised by that one. The other one I thought was the split decision. I thought Blagoy Ivanov had enough against Augusto Sakai. Augusto Sakai really adding up all the punches and kicks, but I thought Blagoy Ivanov had the more damage really in that one. But the judges giving Augusto Sakai the nod. Who did you have in that one, Kelly?
I honestly didn't pay that much attention to that fight.
It was kind of boring. They were throwing, but really the pace was kind of slow. Obviously, the fight wasn't super exciting. But
I gotta be honest, I didn't watch the whole thing.
I agree. If there was a fight to kind of tune out on, it would have been that heavyweight match. Ivanov, he could be getting his walking papers and could be heading back to Bellator soon, just because that's kind of the way he's been recently. He actually looked like the most excited he has for a fight in a very long time. Mm-hmm. That's why I had said before this fight, he's kind of lost his killer's edge. Yeah. And in this fight, I thought he had a bit of it back. But I think he just was playing a bit too coy. He was landing and he was showing kind of what makes him a good fighter. I think he should have maybe just worked his takedowns a bit more. I thought that's what had him the edge, honestly, was the takedowns had him winning this fight. But the judges did not see that way. To give him a 30-27, I thought was a bit crazy. I didn't have him winning every single round, but I had him 2-1. So we go from 2 close decisions to one hell of a decision in the main event, where Gilbert Durillo Burns beating Tyrone Woodley. Man, oh man,
that's a key word in that fight. He beat him.
Yeah, did he ever, man? Did he ever? It was a great classic match of a jiu-jitsu black belt against a Division I college wrestler, Division I champion, 2 champions of 2 grappling backgrounds that don't get any tougher than that, then jiu-jitsu or freestyle collegiate wrestling, and they went toe-to-toe on the feet. That's what I really loved about this. They actually were both showcasing why these dudes are in the top 5 of the welterweight division, is because these dudes can throw leather and they can kick real well too. And I really enjoyed that. They were both, the punching was great. It was really, really good. And Burns had the edge 100%. And you could see it was really frustrating Tyron Woodley. Like you were talking about earlier, Kelly. It's another dude. It seems like he doesn't have the killer instinct anymore.
Yeah.
Even afterwards in the press conference, saying he's found a peace in this loss, found an eerie calmness in this loss. I think that means you don't. Yeah, that's never a good sign. I think that means he doesn't want to fight anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think he's gonna retire, but I think he's still gonna work for the UFC.
Yeah,
as commentator.
Absolutely, he's been good on commentating before. I think he's very insightful and a very smart dude. And maybe it is time to hang him up. Maybe do the odd fight here and there, but it just didn't look like the same Tyron Woodley we'd seen. The speed, and he was showing little bits and pieces of it. The speed, and when he would come out, he would come out in the beginning of the round. He would really, really flashy and really start showing some shit. But as soon as he got hit, he went back to a different mode. He went back to another, slow mode, and it wasn't a good strategy fighting anybody.
He has nothing to prove. He has already had the belt. He retained the belt. He's actually defended it, unlike other champions. But I think it's funny that before he lost to Usman, he was talking about how he's the greatest welterweight of all time.
Yeah. Questionable. Yeah, I remember that because it was like, obviously all the GSP talk, and then you're going to come out and say, no, you're the best? I don't know, man.
Not anymore for sure.
No, definitely not for sure. And, that's the commentators were catching themselves. They're dissecting what Tyron Woodley wasn't doing. And at the end of the day, we got to say what Gilbert Burns was doing.
Yeah.
And he was putting a clinic on. A great stand-up. He was really landing some awesome shots. He had Tyron Woodley dazed a few times. He definitely had him stumble a few times. But what I was most impressed of was the takedowns. That second round double leg takedown, that was beautiful. One of the best takedowns of the year. By far in the UFC ring. It was just beautiful. And amazing to be able to do that against one hell of a decorated wrestler in Tyron Woodley. And I think that's what Gilbert Burns does a little bit differently than these other dudes. Is he's very, very smart and prepared when it comes to MMA and when it comes to his grappling. He knows he's the best jiu-jitsu guy in the world. He knows that. And people come to him for his jiu-jitsu training and his know-how, because just how well he has transitioned his jiu-jitsu into MMA. He's realized that wrestling is a big part of that, and he came in and did that. One thing I was kind of thinking of, could we see this guy fail a piss test? I wouldn't put it past him. He looked jacked. His back was jacked up as crazy as all hell. He's Brazilian too. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to tarnish any of his wins or anything like that. I'm just saying, let's be realistic here in the UFC we live in. Just because how jacked the dude is and how strong he is, you know what I mean? To be able to manhandle Tyrone Woodley like that,
yeah,
dude is on another level when it comes to grappling. And I can't wait. He just fucking injected himself, Kelly, into the top 5 of the welterweight division. Easily.
Yeah, Tyrone was rated number 1, so he would have to be.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Boom, you just instantly in the top 5. Who does he fight next? I think I would actually honestly like to see like Rafael Dos Anjos or even Wonderboy Thompson. I would like to see how he does against another striker like that. He doesn't have an unblemished career too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He has been knocked out, and I think you know what I mean, putting up against another very, very tough striker could either, you know, show how good of a grappler he is, or maybe if he's too prideful and not going to take that fight smartly, he could, you know what I mean, try to stand and bang with the striker and end up at the wrong end of the stick with losing that. So I think how his next matchup plays out is going to be super important for his career. Stating the obvious here, really, you know what I mean, but he's right at that cusp where an injury.
Fight George.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think George St. Pierre would say no fucking way.
No, George Masvidal.
Oh, Jorge Masvidal. Yeah. I think we could see that for like a title eliminator bout. I think, you know what I mean, that'd be a rough matchup for anybody. I think that's what's craziest thing about Gilbert Burns right now. Yeah. He's a bad matchup for anybody. Even coming out and saying, I guess because he's the jiu-jitsu coach at American Top Team in Florida, he's basically saying, I'll fight Kamaru Usman. We are friends and we're at the same gym, but I would never hesitate to fight him for the belt.
Yeah.
So I think we could see that, and that's what I'm saying. He's easily on the cusp. If there's a title bout coming up, someone gets injured, I can guarantee he's gonna be the first call. Because that's what he's always talked about too. Is he's always doing these last minute fights. Is what he's specialized in. That's where how he's made his name and how he's catapulted himself up the 170-pound rankings so quickly as Gilbert Durinho Burns.
No, George definitely shouldn't be fighting unless it's for like, you know, 50 million.
Yeah.
Like he's retired and then come back, won the middleweight belt, and then retired again a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like he spent more time retired in the last 10 years than fighting. So
I think really the only fight that makes sense for him is Khabib.
Yeah. As a legacy fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be crazy, though. All right, well, great card. Really, really enjoyed it. We got UFC 250 next weekend, which I am super, super excited for that one. Can't wait for that. Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun watching that card as well. And that's about it then. Is it next weekend? Oh, think... Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, because tomorrow's the 1st. Yeah, tomorrow's the 1st. And great card also going to be going down. So we'll have the smaller ring for that one, too. Interesting.
Perfect.
We'll report on everything like that. Everything in the MMA world. And entails. Holy shit, did we ever go along today? Wowzer doodle. Just want to give a special shout out to everyone out there listening. Yeah, we just really appreciate it, man. Tuning in, your home, work, in the car, wherever you guys listen to your podcast, and just, you know, taking the time to pick us. It's really a cool feeling, you know what I mean? Out of all the podcasts out there people want to listen to, tune in to me ramble and talk about my bullshit, and just really enjoy doing it. I know Kelly really enjoys doing it too, and it's the reason why we keep doing it, obviously, is for all the listeners out there, and just really want to give a special shout out to everyone out there. Check us out on Twitter, @AndNewPodcast, the Stephen and Kelly and New Podcast. Well, that really wraps it up, Kelly. We'll we'll call it a day. We have gone super long here. Nothing but shit to talk about as always. Well then, for producer and co-host extraordinaire Kelly, my name is Steven, and you've been listening to the